What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Top 10 Tuesday episode. This is episode 101, and this is an episode I've actually been wanting to do for a while because I've come to the realization I'm a really big fan of the films that have been coming out of this country recently. And of course, for this week, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite Irish horror films of all time. Now, the Irish didn't really start pumping out horror films until about 15 years ago, it seems like. I tried to look up a little bit of history of Ireland and horror films and stuff. You know, they did a few, you know, back in the day, you know, in the 80s and things like that. I think High Spirits came out in 88 and stuff like that. But they weren't very prevalent in the film game, you know, until the early 2000s when they started to spawn out some films. And recently, in the last few years, they put out some really good ones. So overall, the Irish don't really have a huge discography of films. I think I have in my collection roughly 16 or 17, and that seems to be the majority of the films that have ever come out of Ireland. Now, if you are Irish or you're, you know more about Irish horror films than I do, just leave comments down below and stuff. I will talk about some that I left off this list at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's get right into this top 10 list. In at number 10 is a film called Shrooms. I really enjoy this film, man. I think it's kind of an interesting concept, actually. You know, I mean, it might not seem that original. It may even seem, you know, slightly predictable to some people out there. But, you know, it's basically about these American teenagers that head over to Ireland, meet up with their buddy, and they end up eating some bad mushrooms that, you know, ultimately takes them on a very hallucinogenic trip. And, you know, all of a sudden they're being stalked by certain things and people start dying off and stuff. And it has you wondering if it's real or if it's not and stuff. Yeah, I really like this film, man. I thought it was really good. I haven't seen it in a long time, and actually, I think the last couple times I've watched this movie, I have been inebriated myself. Not on mushrooms, but no, I really dig this film. You know, it's low budget. It's super, super low budget, but, you know, at least they really tried and stuff. You know, I think, from what I remember, I think the acting probably could have been a tad bit better in this film. I think that was one of the gripes I had with this one, but I thought the concept was pretty cool, and the setting was really awesome in this film, too. So, but yeah, Shrooms, in at number 10. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that film. In at number 9 is Dead Meat. Now, this is a film I actually reviewed on my 31 Days of Horror in October. It was a film that I just wanted to revisit. I hadn't seen it since it came out, or since I picked up the DVD or whatever it was. It's a film from 2005, I believe it came out. Kind of about the time when the Irish films started to kind of pick up game a little bit. And I'm glad that, you know, Fangoria put this film out, because it's one that I still hear absolutely no one ever talk about, which is kind of a shame, because it's a pretty interesting, low budget, well done, you know, zombie film or infection type film. It's basically about, you know, mad cow disease that gets spread to humans and they go fucking nuts. Shit like that. You know, it's the synopsis in a few words. You can check out my full review if you want to know my full thoughts. But this it's actually pretty interesting, man. It's got a lot of really good atmospheric and, you know, kind of low budget cinematography that really does work for this type of film. It's actually shot really well. The zombies look really cool. The gore is fantastic in the film. There's a lot of really good plus points to this. So if you like your low budget cinema and stuff, but this one comes off as being a little bigger than it actually is. I know this one was super, super low budget. Like, I can't remember what it was made for, but yeah, I do highly recommend Dead Meat. Check it out if you like your gore and shit, so give it a shot. In at number 9. In at number 8 is one of my favorite films of 2015. I really dug the hell out of this film, and that is called Let Us Pray. Of course, starring Liam Cunningham. Pollyanna McIntosh, of course, from The Woman, which I'm overly not a big fan of. I know people always get on my ass about that. But I actually prefer, I think, the prequel, The Offspring, a lot better than that film. But anyways, Let Us Pray, basically about Pollyanna McIntosh's character. She is a young cop, and it's her first night in this new precinct, and she brings in this very odd guy named Six. She hauls him into the police station, puts him in a cage and in a cell, whatever. And basically, he starts having this effect on everyone around him, including the prisoners and, you know, the police officers themselves. And they start turning on each other, and things start going crazy, and you're not really knowing why and stuff, and then kind of sums it up in the end. But really cool premise. I really like this film. Again, I'm going to sound very redundant in this video, but there's a common theme here. The Irish really like to make atmospheric films. This one has really great atmosphere. I thought the effects were awesome. The kills were awesome. The premise was really cool. It was acted awesome too. I thought the acting was great in this film too. There is some situations in this film I think that some people kind of look at and go, why would that happen and things like that. But I don't know, man. I didn't really look at it like that. I kind of took it for what it was, and it really did work for me. So check this out. Love the setting. Absolutely love the setting of this film. And it has a cool ending, and I think that's one gripe that a lot of people did have with this one, was the ending. But, you know, lo and behold, I liked it. So that was in at number... What number was that? Number 8. Number 7 is another one from the time period, I think 2005, 2006, something like that, and it's called Isolation. Basically about, you know, an experiment gone pretty wrong, I guess, and these people get trapped in this this Irish farmhouse, and there's kind of like these alien hybrid type cows running around, and they can't escape. I heard one person sum this film up as one time as saying it was Alien on an Irish farm or something like that. I can't remember, but it just kind of made me laugh, and I was like, that's kind of true, actually. This is a very good, again, atmospheric, I guess not really too slow burn, but it's just a really well done film. Really cool premise and stuff. Shot well, acted well again. But again, the setting is really what sets us off, man. It's just awesome. Check out Isolation if you've never seen it. It's really good stuff. That was number 7. In at number 6 is one that I was actually, you know, very surprised at how much I liked this film, because I kept hearing such mixed reviews on it, and it was everything from really good to really bad, and that seemed to be the consensus, you know, on it. And it's called From the Dark, and I believe this one came out 2014, maybe released in 2015. I don't know. Again, this one right here, you know, for a film that's predominantly shot in the dark, man, they lit this film perfectly. You can see everything in the film, and what you're not really supposed to be seeing is perfectly lit again, you know, or not lit. It's just fantastic. It's a very simple premise about a couple that's vacationing, and basically this creature's kind of not conjured up, he's kind of disturbed or something like that, and he comes back to life, and, you know, he starts tearing some shit up. They soon realize that light is going to be their best friend. That's pretty much what's going to kill this creature and stuff. But hence the tagline, "Pray for Dawn." So it's kind of one of those deals where they got to survive through the night type thing. Really awesome film, man. I love this one. Thought it was acted great. Again, atmosphere just outstanding. This creature looked awesome, and it's got some cool kills and things like this one too. And again, the setting's fucking awesome. It looks just fantastic. Yeah, From the Dark. Give it a shot. Really, really good stuff, in my opinion. That was number 6. And at number 5 is another one that I'd heard a couple mixed things about, and I kept hearing people saying it was like a cheap knockoff of I think Sinister. I think that's what people were comparing it to. And this one right here is from 2014. I think I did a full-length review of this on the podcast. I'm positive I did. And it's called The Canal. About this film archivist that, you know, he's doing his job, putting films away and things like that. And he comes across this little short film where he watches a clip of it, and he notices that, you know, the murders that are happening on this clip, or on this news, whatever it is, actually happened in his house that he's living in right now. So he starts to investigate, and of course all this, you know, supernatural shit starts happening, and ultimately his wife goes missing, and other things start happening, and then we got this really crazy kind of ghost story type deal. Man, this film, it was so creepy. This was such a fucking creepy film. I don't know what it was. Maybe there's a time I first watched it, but it was creepy as hell. Really kind of creepy, just, oh man, the atmosphere was just fantastic in this. Acting was great. I love the story. I love these type of stories because it can go a bunch of different ways, and this one seemed to pull it out. It seemed to pull it out, all the stops and stuff. I don't want to give too much away from it, but check out The Canal, man. If you're a fan of Sinister, maybe check this one out too, because you might be a fan of it also. But I thought this was just, I liked this way more than Sinister, to be honest. Thought it was a way better film, but yeah. The Canal in at number 5. In at number 4 is another one that, man, I was like, damn, it's really, really fucking good. And it's called The Hollow. I was really impressed by this this creature feature. This was really cool. About this guy, and he's doing it. He's like a forest surveyist or something like that. He's working for some company. He's sent out to this isolated area to survey some forest. He's out there with his wife and stuff, and ultimately kind of disturbs up these creatures, and now it's a survival game, right? They gotta figure out a way to survive and shit. But this one, it has a lot going for it, man. The creatures, the setting, just everything that's kind of along with the creatures and what they are and what they're doing and stuff. It's got a really cool premise, actually. I thought this was really interesting. Very awesome stuff. Really, really good stuff. And it's eerie. It's an eerie, isolated kind of claustrophobic type film for some reason. I don't know. I was getting this feeling like they just weren't going fucking anywhere. It's awesome. Really good stuff, man. Actually, like both cover arts and that's really good stuff. But yeah, check out The Hollow, man. I thought this was just a fantastic surprise from IFC. So yeah, in at number 4. In at number 3 is one that I've watched so many times and I just love the premise. Only the Irish could make this fucking movie work. It's so awesome. This is in at number 4. Yeah, I don't know what number I'm on here. No, this is number 4. Yeah, I'm tripping. This is number 4. No, this is number 3. I am totally tripping balls here now that I'm counting. Okay, I don't know. In at number 3, we've got Grabbers. So this movie right here made me piss my pants laughing, man. I was watching this and like when they reveal how they can defeat this alien fucking tentacled octopus type creature. I don't know. But it's basically about these people that get trapped on this island and they're being feasted on by this alien creature. And they ultimately figure out a way that they can beat this thing because they've noticed that this creature doesn't like to gnarl on people that are intoxicated. So they conjure up this plan where they need to get super drunk in order to defeat this monster. And it's just like it's like the most Irish film. I know it's such a stereotype, the Irish are always drinking and they're always drunk and stuff, but shit, man, is that ever a funny premise, man? So these guys got to get super wasted to defeat this thing so they don't get eaten by the creature. That's fucking awesome. Such a great premise, man. I really like this shit, man. That's a pretty good one. Like Super 8 laced with special brew. It's pretty awesome stuff. Really, really fun stuff. Of course, the monsters, CG and stuff, to a point. I think there's practical effects in here too. But really good kills. The setting's fantastic, but it's super funny. A lot of really good dialogue in this film and fun characters and shit. Like a lot of really good characters in this film. It's just a ball of fun. If you've never checked out Grabbers, check it out. And that was, of course, in at number 3. I had no idea what number I was on. So that was number 3. In at number 2 is, in my opinion, one of the best vampire films to come out in the last 15, 16 years. Since the new millennium, in my opinion. And it is called Byzantium. This is a really, really damn good film. Now, when I first was, intrigued on checking this one out, I saw the running time on it and I was like, wow, this movie's almost 2 hours long. I'm like, that's crazy long for a film like this. Until you start watching it, and there's a lot of story, there's a lot of, character kind of development, and it's like a character study of these two and stuff. It's, these two vampires are living in present time, or in the present day. They're about 200 years old, or 200 and something, whatever they are. And, of course, their past comes back to haunt them a little bit, and it kind of goes from there and shit. Some twists and turns and some pretty interesting revelations in this film, but just a fantastic film overall. Very, very well acted, very well shot, just fantastic. I mean, it's from, who's it? Neil Jordan. I always forget that dude's name. Of course, the guy that did Interview with the Vampire, another fantastic vampire film, but this one it's kind of on those lines. You can tell that Neil Jordan directed this film and Interview with the Vampire. It's very stylistic, very well acted. It's got a really great story. There's just a lot more to it than, just vampires sucking blood and, sleeping in coffins type thing. But check out Byzantium. It does run 118 minutes, but I assure you it does go by pretty quick. It did for me anyways, but yeah, that was number 2. And of course, in at number 1 is one of my favorite movies. I think 2013 this came out. This movie, I still watch this every once in a while. It just cracks me up. Has so many funny moments in it. And it, of course, is Stitches. Ross Noble as Stitches the Clown. This is a pretty funny, interesting revenge film, basically, of Stitches who gets killed at this birthday party. Something like 10 years later, he's conjured up and he comes back from the dead. And now the same kids that killed him in the first place are having this party, and he, shows up there and he's exacting some revenge on them in very, very entertaining ways. The kills are just fantastic in this film. A lot of great one-liners. The musical cues are some of the best I've ever seen in a film. The musical cues work so damn good in this film. It just gets you pumped while you watch it. It's just fantastic stuff. But yeah, I couldn't say enough good things about Stitches. I know clown films generally have a bad rap because lots of them are really bad. Like I just watched Clown Town the other day. That movie is fucking terrible. Really bad. Yeah, that one's a shit one. But Stitches, really fun stuff, man. If you've never seen Stitches, check it out, man. It's just worth it for, a laugh. It's a great one to throw in with your friends, have some beers, and just check it out and stuff. But of course, that was in at number 1, and that's going to do it for my top 10. Now, for a few that didn't make it, of course, I got to show this one, Rawhead Rex. Rawhead Rex is a really fun but terrible film. It's for some good laughs, really. I recently watched this again and just had me laughing and stuff. But, the thing is, I like all these movies a little bit better than Rawhead Rex, but still a fun film. I'm sure people would put that in their top 10. Another one that I own that I didn't put in here was Citadel. That was a really cool film. I liked the premise of that one. I thought that was pretty cool. Outcast I think that was one released on the Bloody Disgusting line. I thought that was okay. It was decent. Wakewood, I think, was kind of the resurgence of Hammer films. I think that was the first one that Hammer redid. For the modern crowds, I think Wakewood was. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't really care for it overly that much, but there's some other notable ones like High Spirits came out, and there's a bunch of other ones. But yeah, the Irish are finally starting to come out of a hole in the ground, I guess, and start making some damn films. But I wish they'd make a lot more, because from what they've been doing the last few years has been really excellent. So. But yeah, that's going to do it for the top 10. Quick little rundown. In number 10, we got Shrooms. Number 9, Deep Meat. Number 8, Let Us Pray. Number 7, Isolation. Number 6, From the Dark. Number 5, The Canal. Number 4, The Hollow. Number 3, Grabbers. Yeah, number 3. Number 2, Byzantium. And number 1, Stitches. And that is going to do it for this episode here. Wow, this went on a long time. Crazy, 18-minute video. Sorry about that, guys. I talk too much. But anyways, let's get the fuck out of here. And as usual, well, instead of a peace, Chars. Yeah.